Hey, welcome back to Berg on the ThunderPals YouTube channel. I am Iceberg Mike, and we got more questions for you. The last Berg was received pretty well, so hopefully this one can be received just as well. I got 3 questions I'm going to read off, and we're going to get into it. The first question is from Tsubasa. What are your thoughts on playing Pokemon matchups on stream? And I'm like, I wasn't necessarily gonna answer this one on Berg because it's more like a request versus a actual question. Let me throw in some of my game design knowledge into here. And I was thinking about it, and there's really 2 ways that you can do this. The first way is to actually use the in-game engine from a game like Pokemon Sword and Shield, for instance, or using the long tried and true method of Pokemon Showdown, which honestly is the superior method to me, because you don't have to go through the trouble of raising a team, breeding, egg moving, and all this other stuff that you have to do, and all these loops you gotta go through just to get the Pokemon the way you want. Showdown just gives you what you need. Everything is right there. Now, the Pokemon games have come a long way in giving you a decent 3D experience, changing things under the hood to make EV training easier, and even trying to generate IVs easier. But nothing beats a slider. I want my Pokemon to be 204 in this stat, 190 in this stat. I can do that. I'm free to craft a team the way I want. So if I were to do Pokemon matchups on stream, probably would be through Showdown rather than any other method, because of the ease of use. And it's just a superior way to me in terms of if you want complete control over what your Pokemon is gonna actually respond as. I'm not sure if I answered your question, but I thought it would be a good opportunity to talk about how Showdown has kind of always been the superior way to play the game. I guess from a competitive standpoint, I know there's VGC that you have to use the games, but we could get into the Smogon VGC debate and we could yell to the blue in the face. But regardless of your rule set, I think Showdown has the actual game beat in terms of ease of use for the end user and being able to make exactly what you want in the actual game. Not saying that it's not possible, because like I said, it's gotten easier and a little more user-friendly, but I think the Pokemon games as a whole still have a long way to go. The next question is from Peasant Lemon. What are your thoughts on rhythm game design? A lot of it is kind of weird. Clearly, I like rhythm games because you got one in the title for this show, in Parappa the Rapper, and that's one of my favorite games, period, 1 and 2. Jeremy Lammy's a little on the S side, but I like it too. Essentially, it's the same thing. You press buttons in time with the music. But Parappa is special in the fact that if you do exceedingly well at matching the beat, they give you your rapping cool status, and it lets you freestyle by just pressing the buttons in different combinations. Now, if you don't stay cool and you just go and be random with it, it's gonna remove the cool status from you. You gotta play the level proper as when you first went into it. But if you maintain it the whole way, usually you're rewarded with a different cutscene than what you would have had if you would have beaten the level without cool status, which I thought was an interesting touch, and I'm kind of surprised other games haven't done this. Now, if you know a game that done this, leave it in the comments, but I haven't exactly played every rhythm game on the face of the planet. But I like the Parappa games. I also like the rhythm game DJ Hero. I know it's a spin-off of the Guitar Hero and Rock Band games, but I was never really a big fan of those. Maybe it's more because I'm more of a hip-hop guy.
This is what New York City sounds like.
And that game was fire. I was actually surprised they didn't make another version of that. I actually bought two of the turntable controllers. I was digging that game. That game I felt should have done better. But in terms of design, I don't think many of them used the whole freestyle method that Parappa used, and I think it would be a cool reward for perfecting a song to be able to like make your own song, march to the beat of your own drum. So if I were to make a change to some of these rhythm games, I would do that, like let you be able to like freestyle a little bit more. So this last question is not so much of a question, it was a conversation that was about emulating games. And the reason why this conversation happened was because of this clip. That's how I'm moving with that, because that is a excellent topic to talk about. I'm not gonna do it here because I've already soapboxed enough, but just to agree with you, peasant, yes, I would emulate something if I can. If the alternative is buying a system I don't have, because I think only my Wii U, 3DS, and Switch work now. All my other Nintendo systems stopped working. So, in order to play Thousand Year Door, I would have to buy another GameCube. I'm not sure if the Wii U is still backward compatible with GameCube. If it is, that's great. If not, I gotta buy a GameCube or a Wii. And then I gotta buy the game. The console will probably be cheap, but the game. How much is this shit? Hold up. I said I wasn't gonna tangent. Here I am. I just want a quick Google shopping. Get the fuck. Yo, hold up. I want y'all to say, hold up. Where can we zoom in? I need y'all to see this. I need you to... Excuse me? Why is my son? No, we need a houseway. We need mad houseways. How? You know, with that $700, I could buy me a mirrorless camera and a lens and make my stream look even more professional, or you know, buy some of the parts that I've been scheming to get. And these people want $700 for this game. How? Like, I need y'all to cape. Where are the Paper Mario Thousand Year Door defenders? Why is this game worth $700? The case is not. The case ain't worth nothing. The case is $9. Yo, I'm flabbergasted. I don't even want to go further. Just the fact that this came up by itself is already too much. And I'm sure it gets worse. This game probably reached, or it's probably at a G. You're literally better off buying a whack computer and emulating it, and you would be saving so much more money. You probably have a computer that can run GameCube, and you could get an emulator. It's a legal mumble jumble that I don't really want to talk about, but yo, I'm not paying $700 for a game. I'm not. I refuse, period. End of sentence. Yeah. Paper Mario should not cost $700. But the question is, what are your thoughts on emulation as a solution for when you want to play an old game that developers never re-released, and then the price of said game in order to play it is inflated? I don't want to really talk about the legalities of emulation because I am not entirely sure about it. What I always thought was the rule is if you own the game, you could own a copy of the game, but I'm not sure if that's actually still true or if it ever was true. And I don't suggest emulating games to stay out of legal trouble because, you know, it's almost never worth it. A lot of people were excited for the 3D All-Stars remake, but then some of the wind came out of the sails when they realized that all Nintendo really did was emulate the games. They didn't really remaster them, and that kind of bothered me too. But also, I didn't mind so much because it gave you a way that if you didn't have the older systems, you could still play these 3D classic games. So I was both underwhelmed by the news, but still happy that the game was being released, or the 3 games were being released in one package. So emulation when you can't play the game because it hasn't been re-released, unfortunately, that's all you can do. That's what the Mother fandom has been doing for years because Nintendo doesn't want to release an actual game for Mother 3 across the pond. It's been a Japan exclusive title for years. So there are cases when you have to emulate a game. The companies who make these games, or the developers, probably don't like that. They want you to just buy their game proper, but then you have the problem with games like Miles Edgeworth 2 Ace Attorney Investigations never got a Western release, so people had to play the Japanese version, and there were even some people who made translations of the game, so for English-speaking players didn't know a lick of Japanese could try to experience the game for themselves as well. The reason why people emulate these things is for that very reason. We want to play these games. I know companies need to make money, obviously. That's why you're in business. You're in business to make money. If they felt that the Miles Edgeworth game wasn't going to make enough money to sustain all the production costs and whatnot, then why did they bother making it? That's the part that bothers me. It didn't do well in the western side of the world, so you just decided to keep it in Japan where, it was safest. You weren't gonna hedge your bets. That's crazy. For a long time, the Scott Pilgrim game that I reacted to not too long ago was unable to be played if you lost your PS3 because rights were lost and the game could not be ported or put anywhere else. Luckily, that got put to bed and it was gonna come out very soon. But it's a problem when games are not saved or ported to another console generation. They basically become lost to time. There's that meme that everything not saved is lost by Nintendo, but that's facts. You need to be able to play these games somehow. Emulation is a really good solution. It's just not a legal one, but it's one that came out of necessity because no one's paying $700 for a game unless they're a collector, and that one is missing from their collection. It's not fair to someone who doesn't have that amount of money to shell out just to play an old game that came out for $50 or $60. This is another reason why Nintendo should do a virtual console for all of their previous consoles. I would say take it a step further, and the thing that they're doing with the NES and SNES, expand that to the entire library and do it for each system so you can have access to these older titles that you weren't able to get to or you never even heard of because you weren't born in 1986 or whenever these older games were out. I would say if there's no other choice, if you have no income, if you're just a children and living in your parents' house and you have next to nothing coming in from an allowance, you're probably gonna have to emulate the older games like Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door, just so you can get an experience for it. And that's sad. You should be able to play these older games, and the companies who make these games stand to make a lot of money if they re-release them. Some people give these companies flack because they re-release this game so many times. They do it for a reason, to preserve it. Everything not saved will be lost. I believe that it's a good thing that games get re-released. I don't think they should be re-released 1,000 times. 1 or 2 is good enough. Like if you want to put it out there but then later you want to put it in a compilation, that just makes the most sense to me. But some games get milked more than others. You hate to see it. But that's all I got for this edition of Berg Bites. If you want to see more, like, comment, and subscribe. Leave a comment on what was your game of old that you wanted re-released and hasn't come out yet. We also do live streaming on Twitch, and I suggest you go there because if you want to talk more about old games that haven't got re-released and cost $700 to play. Probably more than that, 'cause you still gotta get the system too. We can talk about all that stuff on Twitch. Also, you should follow us on our social medias. Twitter, Instagram, all that happy stuff. And, most importantly, you guys have a good one. ThunderPals out.
Yeah, I officially don't care. I lost both my balls. Pause. Fuck this chest. I'm out.